In ColdBox version 4, the core framework was huge. That's because it included a lot of features that have since been moved into optional modules you can install later if you want to, but they're not taking up space in your codebase if you don't need them. In this video, we're going to look at some of these fundamental modules, things that used to be integrated into ColdBox directly, but have since been moved into their own modules for better reuse and portability. Instead of being in ColdBox directly, they're now available for download here at forgebox.io. CB Anti-SAMI provides some great security for your application. It helps prevent things like cross-site scripting attacks, which are a very common way hackers try to exploit web applications. Every app should be concerned with security, and installing this module helps make ColdBox applications much more secure. Like most ColdBox modules, this one is free and open source. If you want to add it to your app, it's really easy. You simply scroll down here to the installation process where it says box install CB Anti-SAMI. And let's take a look at our code. Here's our folder for where we can run this. Install CB Anti-SAMI. That will go out to the ForgeBox registry, downloads the package for us, adds it to our project, and configures everything for us automatically. It takes just a few seconds. And notice I don't have to download a zip. I don't have to go into some sort of XML file. I don't have to do any manual configuration of any sort. That's all taken care of for us by the magic of CommandBox and the included files like box.json that tells CommandBox how and where everything is configured and what to do to set it up for us. And now over here in our code editor, you can see we have a folder called CB Anti-SAMI with that entire module already downloaded, installed. It's got its module config file with all the settings we need in it to make that module run properly. There's even some changelog and other documentation in here for us to read up on the module and figure out how to make it work better for us. In fact, all of the modules we're going to look at in this video have a few things in common. They're all free and open source. They're all available on forgebox.io, and they can all be installed by simply using the box install command to grab that module and install it into your application. Here's another one we're going to look at, CSRF. While we're on the topic of security, this module, if you don't know, what CSRF stands for is cross-site request forgery. That's another common way hackers try to exploit insecure web applications. The CSRF module helps make your HTML forms more secure and prevents cross-site request forgery attacks. By the way, none of these security issues we're mentioning in this video are because ColdBox is bad at what it does. And they're not even because CFML is bad at what it does. Things like cross-site scripting and cross-site request forgery attacks can happen on any web app written in any server-side language. The difference is other platforms might make you write your own code to prevent such things, whereas we can just type a few CommandBox commands here and get all the code we need to be that much more secure with our applications. There is no magic silver bullet out there, and there is no magic way to 100% make sure any web application is 100% secure. But by installing these modules, you are that much better off than an application that does not have this sort of support available to it. As your ColdBox applications grow, it can get difficult to keep track of all the moving parts in them. The CB Debugger module gives you a nicely formatted debug view into all the layers happening in your ColdBox app. It can be really handy when trying to determine which event just fired, if any interceptors were supposed to run, which layout is used, which messages were announced, and lots more. Definitely look into installing this module on any machine that you'll use to develop ColdBox applications. And again, it's just as simple as box install CB Debugger. If you work on applications that have to ship in multiple languages, check out the CB I18N module for improving your localization workflow. Having worked on a number of apps that ship in several languages, I can tell you that having tools like this to help with your process can be a huge time saver. ORM is a pretty common way to manage SQL and database functionality in applications. The CB ORM module takes the existing ORM features that come with your CFML engine and it enhances them. The functionality provided takes away a lot of the headaches that can come from ORM and gives you a really nice developer API to make that part of your app development a much more smooth and productive experience. As you can see, these core modules are well worth checking out and adding to your applications. And we only barely touched on them. There are literally dozens more modules available for you to install. Simply open a web browser, go to forgebox.io, browse away, and type the box install command for whatever module you happen to be looking for. When you're ready to write your own module for others to use, you can post it on ForgeBox as well. If that sounds daunting, it's really not that bad, trust me. Remember when we said modules, all they need is a module config CFC file? That's the only thing they need. You can literally make a module that is just one or two CFCs if you want. It doesn't have to be a great big full-blown application. In fact, there are lots of modules on ForgeBox that are not very complicated at all. My first module was one that displays movie quotes from 80s movies. And anytime you type movie quotes list It outputs a movie quote for you. That module is just one file, and it's available on forgebox.io to check out. There's more info about writing modules on the Ortus Books website. Ortus also offers a workshop that focuses on nothing but using CoalBox, and as part of that, you'll get experience writing modules, so they add functionality to your CommandBox environment, as well as CoalBox modules for your apps itself. So yes, you can write modules that work in CoalBox, and you can write modules that work in CommandBox if you want to write your own command line commands, like I did here with this movie quotes example. Ortus also offers workshops for mastering CoalBox itself, and part of the training for that includes a more in-depth discussion about modules and what they do. For more information on any of this training, please contact Ortus Solutions directly.